A reading from the book of Genesis. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the wild animals of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth." So God created humankind in his image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them.
It can be quite difficult to think of God as being outside time and space, who created and upholds the universe and everything in it, with a personal and individual God who's closer to us than breathing, and who has every hair on our heads numbered. The one is so vast we can't really comprehend it, and the other so small and intimate. It's now becoming more and more apparent to scientists throughout the world that the universe didn't just emerge out of nothing, that it has to have been designed and created. The American physicist and Nobel Prize winner Arno Penzias, who helped formulate the Big Bang Theory, said, "The best data we have are exactly what I would have predicted had I nothing to go on but the 5 books of Moses, the Psalms, and the Bible as a whole." A member of the church recently told me that she had been asked whether God was asleep. In view of what's been happening in the world, COVID, the war in Ukraine, heightening tensions between East and West, the huge rise in the cost of living, the dramatic changes in our weather pattern, it's a very reasonable question. Why doesn't God do something about all of this? Why doesn't God intervene when wave after wave of crises appear to be hitting the world? Well, of course, God can and does intervene, but not in the Hollywood John Wayne style, riding to the rescue with all guns blazing, although God did intervene in a spectacular fashion when he came to earth in human form to take our sins upon him by his death on the cross. But that doesn't answer the question of why God doesn't muscle in on all occasions where there's evil and injustice and right all the wrongs. Just to say glibly that God gave us free will, which he has, is a kind of shorthand answer, not totally satisfactory without further explanation. So let's look at it in a different way. It's been said by many eminent writers and philosophers over the years that if you love someone or something, you have to set them free. You have to let them go. Let's think about that for a moment. Just think about the love a parent has for their children. You watch them grow up, equip them for life as best you can, perhaps feel sad when you see them off on their first day at school, knowing that a step has been taken that can't be reversed. You have to allow them to go out into the world, to make their own mistakes, perhaps to grow away from you. It might give you heartache and pain, but you can't keep them confined. That isn't love, that's control. God is love. He created us in his image. The love we have for one another, the love we have for our children, is the same as God's love is for us. So when God created us, he gave us the priceless gift of freedom. Because he loves us, he has to let us go. He has to let us be free. It's a risky thing to do. But if we hadn't been given this freedom, we wouldn't be humans. We'd just be mindless robots. So God paid us the immense privilege of giving us freedom to make mistakes, freedom to mess things up. Parents have to watch from afar when their children make bad decisions or take the wrong turning in life, and perhaps all they can do is offer advice and continue to love from afar. But there's a lot that God can and does do. He doesn't sleep, but is working ceaselessly to make things right, to rectify the mistakes we make, to bring good out of evil, order out of chaos. Just as a master potter works with their hands, shaping and moulding something beautiful out of a lump of clay, reworking, reusing bits that don't go right, so God is shaping and moulding us and our world. But unlike the inanimate clay, we can be part of this process if we allow God into our lives to shape and mould us. If we seek a relationship with God, turning from all the bad and wrong decisions we've made, asking for forgiveness and asking for the grace to be used by God in His service. We are Jesus' hands and feet in the world. God is not asleep. He is working through each one of us, perhaps not on a grand scale to solve the conflict in Ukraine or the cost of living rises, but through our individual actions, our prayers, and our faith in our ever-loving Creator. Amen.